People, deluded. Quick vid. Now, Mavropanos. I don't know. I trust Una Emery with him. I know Una Emery rates him. He name dropped him. I know he rates him. He's been unlucky this season with injury, unfortunately. Never to wish injury on anyone, but he could have taken advantage of some of these injuries. Sadly, with Rob Holding, I'm sure at a time Mustafi, Koscielny and Socrates have missed a couple of games, or collectively have missed games because of injury. So, considering he barely played last year, he could have taken advantage in that, and I feel he's a good player, man. I mean, from what I saw of some of the bits in the friendly they played against Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, from, if I remember, West Ham as well for the under-23s. Obviously, it's an opposition in Dubai, but against Dubai, he showed you what he can, glimpses as to the sort of man he can be. He's still incredibly inexperienced. He's 21, 20, whatever, however old he is, innit? And no disrespect to where he was playing in his homeland, but the jump in where he was playing to now is crazy. And I think one thing that's testament to him and his ability is that when he was identified by Michelin, initially he was going to go out on loan to kind of get experience and accelerate his development so he could come back a stronger player. Wenger obviously saw something in him, was more surprised than he thought, kept him in and about the squad. He barely played. Don't think he played more than 5 times. Forgive me if I'm wrong, people. Let's check real quick, man, because I can remember definitely, what was it, Leicester or West Ham he got sent off against. He had a stormer against United, in my opinion. I'm sure he played against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, he's 21, he's 22 in December, man. I think next year we'll see the best of him. I feel next year we'll see the best of him. I feel, again, on top of the injuries, I feel for someone who's inexperienced and stuff, if he wasn't injured, can you imagine what he would have learned, people, playing, if Emery did deem it was worthy options, playing with Socrates week in, week out in the Premier League, getting experience of a fellow countryman and seeing what it's needed to be a good centre-half. Koscielny as well, learning off these sort of man playing. Because there's nothing like playing. He's at the stage where he's got to play. He's only played 11 minutes this Premier League season. Obviously, he's been injured. He's not been involved in Europa League campaign. He wasn't registered for the Europa League. Una Emery is thinking of that. I've been through it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. To be fair with you. So I'm also inclined to believe, like, I know his injuries have been there, and again, I trust Una Emery because he's the one training. He name dropped the man, so he clearly believes in him. But I also got to feel like, obviously, we're not seeing week in, week out what these lot are doing on the training field. Is there potentially something, one little thing that he's lacking that Una Emery wants to see, one thing he wants to see better? Is there something he wants to see before he's convinced, pardon me, of playing him week in, week out sort of thing? Or is there something he's lacking in his game? I'm not sure. Because for me, as an outsider looking in, I only see inexperience, and you can't get experience without getting experience. So that's why my claim is, if he's not going to play next year, like, could seriously play, considered an option, he needs to go out on loan. Because if I run this year and including last year, he's missed out on a lot of football. It's good for us. We've seen how good he is, and maybe if he went out on loan, no one would have taken him in like that, or these things wouldn't have been said. But the same token of that, looking at hindsight, maybe week in, week out, he could have played and went out on loan and been a more experienced individual here. Because for Arsenal, he's only made 7 appearances, people. He's, again, we can't dismount the amount of learning he has to do, the jump up and all of these sort of things, and he's still developing and looking a better player every time I see him. But do you see what I'm saying, people? No, in fact, he's played 4 times for Arsenal. I clicked on it. He's played 7 times for the under-23s. So yeah, he's played 4 times. He's played 4 times for us in the Premier League. Yeah, I was bugging. I don't think he's played in the EFL, but did he play? I'm sure he played against Chelsea, man. Did he play against Chelsea last season, people? In the I could be wrong, man, but something's just telling me this guy played against Chelsea, man. But if he didn't, he didn't, innit? But yeah, man, I'm just keen to see him because he's 21. You look at, obviously, Arsenal fans, we've been here with many cycles before, but you look at Mavropanos, 21, Holding, 22, 23 now, Guendouzi, 20 or so, Maitland-Niles, similar ages, Iwobi just a bit older, Reece Nelson, young as well, Smith-Rowe, young as well, who else is there? Saka, Amici. There's in and around the first team and just below that, there's a good crop of young players to be excited about. Of course, some won't all make it here, but if some can be sold on for profit, if some can be used to build a squad that can get us competing for titles, challenging for cups, first and foremost back into the Champions League, then yeah, man. But I would love Mavropanos. I think next year we'll see more of him. I hope we see more of him. This year he can still make appearances and stuff, but realistically, if Unai Emery is deemed that, we've also got to remember he's had some serious fitness issues, so maybe it's his groin that's stopping this. But Unai Emery is trying to get top four. Maybe he doesn't want to chop and change this side. But I look at someone like Mustafi. Mustafi's a loose cannon, to put it nicely. He does have more experience than Mavropanos, so maybe that's what goes in his favour in terms of, and also, for as much as Mustafi might be a walking fire hazard, he is vocal. We can't discount the communicational aspect of it. Maybe Mavropanos still has to become more of an, what's the word? Not introvert. What's the other one for? More outspoken, whatever it is, in it. More outspoken. Maybe he needs to learn the language, or I don't know, because you can't discount communication in defence. I don't know, people, but for me, next season we'll see more of him, man. I think for me, anyways, you look at Holding, this unknown new centre half that I have small hope for. You look at Mavropanos. You look at Socrates, at least for another year. These are probably your options, really and truly, excluding Koscielny and Monreal because they're still on paper. But these are the sort of man I want to move forward with, really and truly. I would love to see three at the back, Holding, Mavropanos, Socrates, or Koscielny, Mavropanos, Socrates, or Holding and Mavropanos by themselves in a duo. Imagine that, if we could fix this issue in regards to defence with them two players in-house. We'd be laughing, people. Would love to see Deluded come true as well, but it's political. I do think, we're going off topic, but I keep saying this. Unai Emery's got tough decisions to make over a lot of the squad players, but specifically defence, because there's a lot of quantity, but would you say there's quality? There's some tired and untested young players. There's some players that have been at this club for a while that haven't got a chance. I mean, you see Bielik, Mavropanos, Mustafi, Socrates, Koscielny, Chambers, Rob Holding. There's about 7-8 players, and you only need 5, really and truly, 4 to 5 in your squad, and only 2 to 3 at the back, but only 2 centre halves can play week in, week out. So do you see what I'm saying now? Because Koscielny's getting on a bit, Mustafi probably be moved on, so positions are opening. But there's got to be a reason, man. Clearly the club didn't want to loan him out because they see that he's close, man. Because he's been injured for how long, people? He could have went on loan this January, and the club could have said what I've been saying, that, alright, cool, you've missed out on a lot of football, let's go and get you playing in it. But I don't know, man. I think there's something Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery is probably. I think Unai Emery wants to play him, but there might be just one little thing he needs to get into his game, or one little confirmation to think, yes, maybe it's to do with the injuries and his groin, because he's barely had a look in. We've got to be careful with the injury stuff. And he has had that since the start of the season, if I remember correctly. I don't know, innit. I just hope we see more of him, man. Car, for me, he's got the physical height. He's decent pace-wise in the recovery. He's all right playing with the ball. Probably just become a bit more vocal and stuff as he gets comfortable, because he's 21 years of age. He's gone from playing in his homeland to a club like Arsenal, where everybody knows what you're doing, everybody's preying you. He's gone from living in Greece to living in London, where everybody probably recognises him. And I'm sure in his town in Greece, I saw an interview where he said they knew everybody knew each other in the town. I could be wrong, but if everybody knew each other, and you're going somewhere like London, where you won't see the two same people again, more or less, it can be a lot in it. So I also feel football fans, we don't factor in how much the external stuff that comes with moving or young players, how much it affects what they're doing on the pitch. So I don't know, man. I just want to see more of him, man. Do you know what? I would think he's, because 10 games, you don't know what you're going to get from him. As much as I love him, you don't know what you're going to get with Mavropanos. He was terrific against United. He got sent off against either Leicester or West Ham or whoever it was. But you don't know what you're going to get with 10 games. So he might concede a penalty, concede a handball, get sent off again. He might do a lot of these things, but he might have some terrific games. But I see people again, I don't like to scapegoat and bash people regardless of if they're playing badly. But Mustafi, I mean, he can't have been worse than Mustafi. He probably would have taken the chances more than Mustafi. And you've got to think, where would he be if he was given a couple of these chances? Because every game is going to make him better. Like I said, he's only played 4 times for our first team. At least that's what Transfer Market says. So we'll see, man. But I like him a lot, man. I really like him. I still want a centre-half in the summer. But, I mean, if Mavropanos started playing greatly and Holdings, obviously, to come back, stuff could be flipped on its head, because we're going to have Socrates for another season as well. Yeah, you probably still need another centre-half. I still want another top centre-half, but I want to see a bit more of Mavropanos, man. But yeah, man, there's nothing more for me to say, so I'm gonna get out of here. People, deluded.